Hi, I'm Jay Wyatt from AudioCodes, and I'm at Colt House in London, and I'm joined by Tim and David from Colt. Tim, can we first talk about the AudioCodes partnership, and what does it bring to Colt? Perhaps you can put some more.
Sure, no, by all means. I mean, firstly, I'd like to say that we're here to celebrate our winning of the awards, not just talk about. We're fantastically enthusiastic about that, and we thank you for 2 awards, one global, as we know, the Live Platform Award, and then one specifically to the UK for our work in the service provider community. The relationship really began to become a true sort of 360 partnership, as we like to say, around that 2018-2019 timeframe. And we were struggling to be able to scale with our customers. We are a global organization. We have a huge reach across the globe, but like everybody, that requires investment. We're an infrastructure company. We're used to investing in, cables in the ground and units in boxes across the world in points of presence. But we needed a partner to help us scale this particular voice product, which was driven by, as we all know, sort of Skype for Business and then latterly Teams. So yeah, it's that innovation and working together that created Live Platform, a really scalable platform to migrate customers to cloud voice. And we've just grown from strength to strength. And I guess last year was the culmination of that.
So we've had a lot of moving, as we said, with COVID from on-premises environments, but not just on-premises environments, sometimes hosted platforms in customer data centers or in their own offices or even in partner data centers and service provider data centers. And the big change is we're seeing that the UC application providers themselves are doing their own hosting of the applications, like Teams Phone, like Cisco WebEx. Everything's moving into this sort of public cloud space, running in Azure, running in AWS. So the Live Platform was perfect because it was ready for that. And we had 5 years of development in 1 year, really, with COVID. And that was the big shift. Now, we saw it ourselves internally. We saw customers suffering with bottlenecks, challenges with bandwidth, and how are you going to get the voice to users when they're at home. So that helped the transition to these cloud native applications, and it got rid of a lot of the hostility that was previously in organizations where they were saying, we want full control. And now, of course, they get control. And that's the difference. So we're getting past that perception barrier. So 5 years on, we're seeing much more of a multi-cloud shift now. Customers are looking at the right tools for the right jobs, different applications in the background. Yes, we've seen a huge adoption of Microsoft Teams Phone, but we're also seeing the adoption in other areas, like Tim mentioned Zoom. We're seeing that with Cisco WebEx as well. And so having this multi-cloud Live Platform enables us to route calls wherever they need to go, which makes life a lot easier for customers. The biggest complaint I hear from customers when they move from one unified comms or telephony platform to another is the hassle of changing phone lines, porting telephone numbers. The infrastructure components are really complex and painful and go wrong. When you're connected to the Live Platform through Colt, that means we can route calls wherever they need to go. There's never going to be that massive upheaval ever again. And that's a really powerful message.
Do you see many customers now actually choosing to have multiple UCaaS environments, and do you see that growing?
Absolutely, we do. Particularly in the larger enterprise space or in the complicated space where you have high-tech manufacturing or complex environments, mergers and acquisitions, or divestitures as well. We're seeing an awful lot of that. You'll have different UCaaS applications, contact center services tending to be outside of the UCaaS space, although that is getting more and more integrated as time goes on. And we're seeing a lot of change there. And customers using the right tools for the right jobs. So yes, Teams Phone might be the solution for many knowledge workers, for example, especially people working on their laptops, working remotely, hybrid working. But when you've got complicated factory environments, you've got decks, you've got Wi-Fi, you might have barriers that need to open, then you're starting to introduce a bit of complexity, and that isn't always solved by your traditional UC as a service platforms like Microsoft Teams or Zoom Phone. So we're seeing that complexity. We're also seeing the flexibility. People started to feel a bit trapped after the initial we're moving to the cloud because we have to that happened during COVID. then customers were thinking, well, we're kind of here now, and it's very, very sticky. And once you're in that ecosystem, whether that's Microsoft, whether that's Cisco, you're starting to look at, well, what do I do if I want to change? How easy is it for me to change? And so some of the native calling services that came with those UCaaS providers, they're reselling other telcos around the world, and it doesn't give the same flexibility. And this is what live platforms really helped us reassure our customers, that whether you're using one service today or another service tomorrow, or both at the same time, we can route calls appropriately to the right places. And as we develop and as we enhance our portfolio, we keep adding countries to the live platform so that we can service more customers in more regions. But that doesn't stop us with internationally being able to connect up third-party carriers as well to the live platform so that we can then deploy that into their UCaaS application of choice. Well, the trends seem to be that focusing on security a lot more. There's a lot of looking at that, and the live platform has been secure by design since the beginning. And in the early days, I wasn't seeing so much concern about security when it came to telephony. It was all security to do with data networks. Now everything is under that microscope, and rightly so. So the zero trust policy has been extended out through to unified comms and also to contact center solutions as well. So having the live platform in Azure with the resilience and the reliability and also the security levels that we provide at the transport layer as well, that enables customers to be reassured. So you've got the backing of Microsoft as well, but you've also got the backing of the platform and Colt as well with our trunking services that are connecting to that. Other trends we're seeing, like we've already talked about multi-UCaaS, that's a big one. We're also seeing the convergence of contact center into the UCaaS space as well. So people wanting a single pane of glass, which I know is a phrase that gets overused, but more and more we're seeing that get integrated into whether it's the Teams interface or the WebEx interface. And then from there, we're also hearing about, well, what can we do with our vertical applications? So we're all used to the sort of horizontal applications where you're working in Microsoft Teams or you're working in Word or SharePoint, etc. But the vertical applications specific to the industry, specifically where they're tailoring them, and whether that's a Salesforce, which is very modular by design, or an SAP, and now trying to bring calling into that. So what Microsoft have been doing recently and what AudioCodes have been doing with the Teams Phone extensibility, meaning that we can get that native voice path into the customer's vertical application. So that's a big topic of conversation.
What does the future look like for your customers, and what can we see coming from Colt?
Well, more of the same. More working really closely with AudioCodes and delivering, innovative voice services to our customers globally, clearly. But also, we are shifting as an organisation. Everyone knows about our infrastructure. Everyone knows about our network. But do they know so much about our enterprise solutions and what we're doing there? And that's where David leads his team in doing that. And so products like AudioCodes Voca, I'm not supposed to talk about products, but Voca and Mia, those solutions that actually solve business problems and improve business outcomes, that's where I think, certainly from my perspective, we're focusing more on. But David, you might have a comment on that.
Indeed. So we're expanding our capabilities internally and also through AudioCodes all the time. So whether that's the integration of the mobile phone device itself and having that native connectivity to the UCaaS platform, we're rolling that out now, and that's a really exciting space to be in for us because we're seeing that replacing even traditional DECT and traditional Wi-Fi handsets in certain enterprise applications. We're also expanding into more countries, as we always have, and so that growth gives us a better footprint, which makes us suit our customers and meet them where they are. So we're continuing to expand that. A lot of the stuff on the analytics and reporting and recording side is very interesting, and we're working closely with AudioCodes on that, and also contact center deployments too. So watch this space.